We are the weirdos, mister.
I am neither shocked nor surprised that Garth Brooks is a friend to the gays. All right, listen. I find it so interesting how many people just don't pay attention to who someone is, all right? And one of the things that I find most interesting is Garth Brooks. See, here's the thing. If you were around in the 90s, like Garth Brooks was one of the most popular male performing artists at the time. Like, it was Michael Jackson and Garth Brooks. Garth Brooks was filling stadiums with country music long before that was ever thought possible. Do you know what I mean? Like, before anyone really thought that country music would get to where it got to.
He's got a split finger wrap and his ropes pulled way to the side.
Better get your real head back in there before down to the sun goes up.
How's everybody doing? Doing okay? Say, let's get started! So
Garth Brooks was doing the damn thing. I mean, it was Garth Brooks mania. The man had stage presence. His shows were something else. Like, if you ever watched one of his live concerts on like TV, which I did because of course I did, phenomenal. They would air them on like NBC or something like that. It was, if you didn't like country music, right? And you didn't really know, when you saw Garth Brooks perform, you were like, never mind. Like, basically you're like, all my objections are questionable. Because it was so good. It was so good. Anyways, Garth Brooks is opening some form of attraction, as he does, as he should. And here's the other thing. Here's the other reason why I knew. Okay, let me just, he's opening an attraction and he's going to be serving Bud Light, which, as some of you may or may not know, is the beer du jour, actually the product du jour that is upsetting the phobes. And, you know, they've been wandering around just like buying it so they can crush it, which is like still capitalism, but okay. And, you know, Target was a target, I'm sorry, of the phobes. And here's the thing. Yeah, initially all of these things are going to take a hit. I really don't understand why people get so excited. They're like, ha, we're showing them. Like, you're not. Listen, Stephanie, you're going to end up going back to Target because you're not going to be able to find another shopping experience where you can go inside, have Starbucks, get all caffeined up while you buy your boxed wine and clothes and shoes and pool toys. It's just an initial thing. Like, I truly, still to this day, I don't believe boycotting works. I know there's going to be somebody who's, it works on small businesses. It doesn't work on huge corporations. Like, it may hurt their stock for a short period of time, and then it recovers because people just forget. They find a new thing to be outraged over, and then they're like, oh yeah, I forgot I was supposed to not be drinking Bud Light. Anyways, Garth Brooks' new attraction, he's like, yeah, I'm going to be serving Bud Light because, and I quote, I know this sounds corny. I want it to be the Chick-fil-A of honky tonks, he told Newman from Newsweek. I want it to be a place you feel safe in. I want it to be a place where you feel like there are manners and people like one another. And yes, we're going to serve every brand of beer. We just are. It's not our decision to make. Our thing is this: if you are let into this house, love one another. If you're an asshole, there are plenty of other places on Lower Broadway. And listen, y'all, it's so funny to me the way people don't know like the lore of Garth Brooks. Like, not funny like in a rude, like I'm so old and I know everything way, but like a quick search would have had you finding that once upon a time, Garth Brooks created a character, all right, called Chris Gaines. And Chris Gaines liked rock music and had emo hair. I shit you not. So of course he is very like, let people be who the hell they want to be. And it was a weird time. The 90s were really weird, but I was not surprised by that. I'm really, really happy that Garth Brooks is basically taking like, he's taking a stand. He's being like, no, I'm not going to allow like hatred to ruin things. Like, people should just be able to enjoy their lives. It really shouldn't be this deep. It's wild to me that it's gotten this far, but this is America. And that's kind of what we do here. We just take everything way too far. Anyway, I just wanted to talk about that because I found it very, very nice and exciting. And it's just nice to see, you know, the world of country music represented. Because y'all, back in his day, this was back in CMT when you got home in the 90s. And on CMT, do you know what was on? Line dancing. It wasn't even their music videos. Like sometimes they showed the music videos. But the main attraction was the group of people line dancing. Listen, you get home with your friends. I'm in Texas. I'm a Texan by birth. It wasn't my choice. Anyway, I'm a Texan by birth, and you would just get home and these people would be line dancing. There has never been so much fried blonde hair in one place than that show, like ever. You get home, line dancing. Everybody else had TRL and all that, but you know, it was the line dancing for the country music channel. Anyways, that's that of that. They still play like country music in Texas Roadhouse, which is a very loud restaurant. On another note, do you feel like restaurants should abolish the birthday song? Because I, as someone who is noise sensitive, think it should be so. It's so irritating. Like there you are trying to eat your meal and somebody just starts screaming like, all right. I'm like, I'm going to murder everyone in this place. Do not give in to this tyranny.
I hope you do burn this place down.
In super old news, I'm going to share this with you because it's a thirst trap and Noah deserves this. He put it up. I want to see it. Listen, there are times when bisexual lighting does something for me, and this was one of those times. Congrats, Noah, on the whole aesthetic. All right, so this next story comes to us from the Munchkinita 2509, and they were just asking if I had heard or kept up with the Adam McIntyre Colleen Ballinger situation, and also they let me know that Dustin Daly put out a video last night exposing the real reason Cody released her newest video, and surprise, surprise, it is a self-serving one, blop blops. So here's the thing. Dustin, first of all, Dustin's been putting out a lot of videos. Some of which I'm just like, what was this for? I will tell y'all, I am always really happy if you have something that you want me to talk about and you pop it in the comments. Good times. If I'm interested, which I usually am, I'll look into it, right? But I do have a few boundaries with regards to what I will and will not talk about on this channel. One thing I definitely do not talk about in any way, shape, or form: grape, essay, anything having to do with the abuse of a child. All three of those things are triggering for me, so I will not discuss anything near that, and I actively avoid it. However, for reasons, Dustin recently put out like some tell-all video, and y'all, I watched this. I had to watch it on 2x speed because honestly, it was a little unhinged. I don't even know Dustin. I don't care. Like, you know, I guess send your hordes after me who are gonna tell me that I'm ugly, which is categorically untrue. But anyways, he begins the video by basically saying that people really just like ruined his life and damaged his mental health, to which that's not funny. That is not cute. And I am very sorry that that happened to you, because nobody should have to endure that kind of pain. Like nobody should have to deal with the internet being shisty towards you. That I don't feel like people really understand how gross that can really be. And especially when this is your job, I love how people will constantly just say things like, oh, just, you know, get off the internet, or, you know, turn everything off, uninstall the apps, which sounds like really great in theory. But the problem is, if this is your job, you don't get the option to do that, because you still have to continue providing for yourself, your family, whomever you're providing for. You still have to be able to do that. So it's not as easy as just like, oh, I'm just going to turn everything off. Plus, the way that the internet works now, people have a really like fiery, they get really excited about like constantly being able to find you on every single platform and attack you. Like back in the day, if something happened on Twitter, and this is actually kind of a fault of drama channels, not in a bad way, I'm not saying it terrible, but what I will say is that drama channels did introduce the idea of bringing drama from one platform to another, you know what I mean? So there's that. But He does start the video off talking about that and how he was in a really bad place in his life when people were coming for them. And he starts with Hannah's Smoky Glow. Now, I don't know Hannah personally. I have exchanged DMs with her. I hope that she is well. I'm gonna say this though, Dustin, if you're gonna start your video saying that these people harmed you when you were at your lowest, I'm not sure if you've noticed, but Hannah isn't going through the greatest time of her life right now either. So it's weird that you took this opportunity to do the exact same thing back. I guess in your mind, turnabout is fair play, but I just don't get that. Like if the whole point is to, I don't know, feel better. I don't know if you feel better with the vengeance. I mean, I know as a Taurus, I do enjoy my revenge. It brings me... Anyways.
You wanna know dark and brutal? Come with me.
Vengeance is cute and all, but have you tried therapy? Just saying. Anyway, I did feel like I was watching the first part of this video and just kind of seemed like pointing out how Hannah wasn't accurate about certain things, whatever, I don't know, don't care, wasn't there. Are we still arguing over a fucking Christmas party that happened 3, 4, 5 years ago? Does anybody still care about this goddamn Christmas party? I'm sorry. Like, ugh. The argument constantly is, well, she should have let the host know that she was gonna not come instead of blasting it on the internet. But like, let's be real for a real second. Yes, you are correct. That could have been a better way to go. Let us also not forget that there's so much pressure with being huge on the internet. I wouldn't know, it doesn't happen to me, but I see it happen to others. There's a lot of pressure with having a large audience who puts a lot of faith in you and feels like they know you in a certain way, a parasocial way, coming soon. And those people will put an enormous amount of pressure on you to move in a way that they think that you should be moving in, right? They're gonna be like, I can't believe you're gonna do X. And having that much pressure and that many people not only comment on your videos, but also they're sending that shit to, you know, your Twitter. They're like constantly on you about the whole thing. I don't think it's like as simple as just being able to be like, at some point you just kind of capitulate, and whether it's right or wrong isn't up for me to judge. But I do think it's weird that we're still having this fucking conversation. Can we stop, please? Like, it's just so weird. Like, okay. And then the things that he points out with regards to her, I just kind of don't care. I'm so sorry. Like, personally, I just feel like Hannah is going through enough. Let the woman live in peace. And now really isn't the time to air your personal grievances, I guess, about like, I don't know. Here's the thing. He didn't say anything that she did personally in the video that he pointed out within his video, in her video that she did on him. Also, after a whole live stream, okay? Like, y'all act like you didn't get her back. Like, what are you talking about? You had an entire live stream where y'all talk shit about her. Like, what do you mean? But the point that I was trying to get to, and I didn't because ADHD is a bitch, is what is the point of this? Because here's the thing. If you're going to tell me that somebody did some shit and it ruined your mental health and whatnot, like, I know that I'm not owed it, but you said it, and I want you to tell me what they did. Not just like pointing out inaccuracies. I want you to tell me how, like, what they said, you know, to me, this is how that would have gone. I would have been like, so-and-so did this thing to me when I was at the lowest point in my life. They kicked me while I was down. They created this video. In this video, they said blah, which then in turn sent these people after me. And these people really just kept attacking me. It destroyed me. I felt awful. I felt horrible. I just wish that I would, you know, not be alive. And it was specifically because of these 3 things. And that's not really what I got from that section. However, what I will say is he does spend some time talking about Sam of Here From the Tea, who has since passed on. Now, I am in agreement with him. I do not believe in the concept of don't speak ill of the dead. Because I think that whole concept was created by evil kings, right? And why would they want to have such a thing? They were very much concerned about their legacy and therefore didn't want everybody to later be able to speak. Yes, I'm checking to see that they're somewhat even because it's hard to see sometimes in the mirror. Anyways, they didn't want their reputations destroyed by how fucking evil they were. So they created the whole idea that you don't speak ill of the dead. And I don't think that that's true. I always be getting that powder all over my shirt, and then like hours later, I'll look and go, what the hell is that? Think I'm dying? Every time. 100% every single time. I end up looking like an idiot. I'm like, hey dummy, how you doing? Anyways, so here's the thing. Let's see, which one of these do we want? Do we want this one? But anyway, for as many really great things that I do think that Sam brought to the community, one of them being unveiling the reality behind them affiliate links, I will say that I have seen multiple times where she was very good at creating an internet mob against someone. And I will definitely agree with him that that had to be horrific for him, because I've seen it. As I was saying before, I don't feel like people understand how awful those internet mobs really are. I think people abstractly kind of get it, but let me just be like super real with you in that it's not as simple. And that's why I kind of brought that up in the first place, was like, hey, remember when like drama was contained to like your one site or whatever, and then, you know, you could still kind of continue with your life on like another platform. But what started to happen was that people would, you know, kind of get into some shit here and there, and it started to follow you from platform to platform. So you could never really escape the anger and ire of others. So like you couldn't really take a breath, you couldn't really get away from them. And it always felt like the second that it started to like kind of get better or whatever, she had a habit of stirring the pot. And kind of once she had you in her sights as someone she no longer liked, it was on like Donkey Kong. And so you just couldn't really, there was nothing really that you could do. I will say that. I will say there's nothing that you could do. You could not get back in her good graces, and it was over. And for that, like, I truly do think that he did suffer quite a bit of mental health problems from that, a lot of stress and a lot of distress, because I'm telling you, if you have not seen the destruction that is caused from that kind of shit, I don't know what to tell you, but it's harsh. And for that, like, I really do feel bad for him. I'm glad that he did bring that up though, because I'm hoping that that does help people to see and understand that like we're all people. Every one of us. I'm just flinging things all over the ground. Please pay no attention to my inability to be neat or clean. Well, clean, just not neat. But I feel like there's a lot of people who truly will just be like, oh, well, that's what you sign up for. And they'll say that shit. Like, and I don't get it. Like, I feel like if you can say something like that and feel comfortable and confident behaving in that way, that's really weird. And I also think that you should seek some form of therapy. It doesn't necessarily have to be the kind that you pay for. There's tons of TikTok therapists. Just like listen to them talk to you about your behaviors, you know what I mean? So you can at least kind of start working on it until maybe you can pay for it, if you ever can, because it's America. Our healthcare system sucks. You may never be able to pay for it. You may have to spend the rest of your life handling your self-help truly by yourself. But I do agree with him in that regard. I do not think that anything having to do with attacking people on the internet is okay. I feel like we keep seeing this where people get upset and then they just like send throngs like of angry hordes out to get people. Unacceptable. Speaking of hordes, did y'all see Robert Welch put out a video and he was like, is your makeup hoard moldy? First of all, sir, it's not a hoard, it's a treasure trove. Damn. And no, it's not. But I think y'all should check out his video, because then you can kind of figure out how to care for and see if any of your makeup is like not on doing so well. Because I think a lot of times we all have that question, like, but like, what exactly do I do? How exactly do I know how elderly this makeup is? And finally, in a move that shocked absolutely no one, guess who's still out here suing bitches? Oh my God, y'all, I swear. Listen, honestly, I was really kind of hoping that girlfriend would chill. You know what I mean? I was like, maybe she'll just relax. Like, I really was kind of hoping she would just chill the fuck out and stop whiling. She did not. She did not chill. She is still very much whiling. It is like, honestly, like unhinged. Illuminati is sending out cease and desist to people's parents. She just like will not move on. This is one of those situations that is going to get worse, I feel like, before it gets better, but like mostly for her. My main concern is that, have you ever like seen a honey badger or like an animal when it is like, when it feels like it has no choice and it feels trapped? You know what I mean? Have you ever seen that, and like the desperation with which they will then lash out? Because if you have, I feel like a lot of us need to be like slightly worried about what's coming next in all of this regard. There we go. I don't like it to be too sparkly. I like to use them, but I don't like them to be too sparkly. Anyways, so, you know, shout out to all those victims of Illuminati. Like, at this point, I think y'all need a club. Wait, y'all already have club. I'm sorry. Listen, don't look at me. Look away from me because I have so many problems, but such great earrings. Anyway, just coming right back one more second. I'm gonna circle back right quick to the whole Dustin revealing the liars of the beauty community or whatever. Can I just say that, like, here we go again. Like, here comes the cycle, y'all. Every couple of months or so, somebody does like the video where they like start talking about all the shit that happened, because that shit still gets mad views. And, you know, I'm not making fun of him for that, because like, this is YouTube. That's what everybody's doing. Everybody's trying to get views. Period poo. So, you know, here we go again. That's all I want to say. It's back. We're back in the cycle. So prepare for the what really happened videos. Prepare for more breakdowns of the situation. Because, you know what, y'all, we can all say we're tired of it as much as we want to. We still gonna watch it. You know, and I know you're still gonna watch this shit. You're gonna be like, ooh, maybe there's a different bend. There's not. It's gonna be the same shit. But I'm hoping that the other videos that Dustin, I almost called him Justin. I did call him Justin. I did. Anyway, the point is, I'm hoping that the rest of them are more well thought out and put together. And I hope he does like a little bit more like background as to why these particular people harmed him, like what they did specifically that harmed him. Thank you, T. I borrowed that from you. So the final thing I want to talk about, because I know I said the other thing was the final thing, but if there's one thing that I'm going to lie about, it's when I'm finished. So, I just saw on the Twitters before I started filming this that they have changed, YouTube is the they, has changed their rules for monetization. And I am so upset. Listen, I know why are you upset? Listen, here's why I'm upset. The tweet is from Roberto. I'm like, Roberto. I think his last name is something. I'm going to put it up here because I don't... listen. It's like Roberto blah, because you know how like the dots always show up. Anyway, he said YouTube has finally lowered the monetization requirements for YPP. Creators will now have access to YouTube fan funding features with lower requirements. Starting today, eligible creators will be able to apply with as little as 500 subscribers, 3 public uploads, and I think only like 1,000 hours or 3,000 hours of watch time. Now here's why I'm upset. This is why I'm upset, okay? As my channel has slowly declined, which is perfectly fine because it is a hobby, I've been happy for that because that means I'm gonna make less money. Now, some of you may not know this, but I literally have 3 YouTube channels, and like now, one of them's on its way to hitting those requirements. So listen, do me a favor, just like watch and don't subscribe. Stop subscribing to my shit. I'm joking, but like, am I? I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think so. Oh my God, this is gorgeous. How long have you been over there, lippy stuff? I didn't know you existed. But to those of you who wanted to start a YouTube channel or have a YouTube channel, you may have already hit the requirements. So congrats to you, boo-boo. All right. That is it. I'm ready. It's time for some more Chicken Police. And that's all I got to say. I'll see you next time. Peace.